Golf Central on YouTube is brought to you by the new Chrome Tour golf ball from Callaway.
Still one more stop on the PGA Tour before they head to North Carolina, and it's a special one. Jack's Place, the Memorial Tournament at Muirfield Village, hosted by the Golden Bear every year since 1976. It's also one of the Tour's signature events. And for the lowdown on what's in store, we head out to Columbus, and as always, we check in with Todd Lewis.
Hi there, Jimmy. Let's talk about Xander Schauffele. Last time we saw him competing, he was hoisting the Wanamaker Trophy, winning the PGA Championship. And after getting that incredible victory, he flew home to Jupiter, Florida, had a celebratory dinner with friends and family members on that Tuesday. But then, on Thursday, started getting ready for 3 big tournaments, starting here at the Memorial, then it's the U.S. Open, and followed by another signature event, the Travelers. He was out here today working hard on his game, working through some issues on the range behind me. He did play a 9-hole practice round today, but he gave us a little time to catch up in what has been a very special moment in his life. And I asked Xander how he's been able to manage celebrating the biggest win in his career while at the same time getting ready for these 3 big tournaments.
I feel like I've done a pretty good job. I felt really fortunate to have 2 weeks off after winning. You know, if anyone that wins this U.S. Open, you're most likely playing the Travelers after. So for me, having 2 weeks off I consider that super lucky, and I took advantage of celebrating. And then I haven't gone to the West Coast yet, so there's still some sort of celebration in order there. But golf's funny. You just you get to the top, and then of 1 week, you beat everyone for 1 week, and then you just run it back shortly after. So I feel like I started practicing not too long after.
We've had quite a few conversations about how well you've been playing, and it seemed like you felt it was inevitable you were going to win. Now that you've done it, is there a different validation that maybe you had prior to that win?
I'm not sure. I'm pretty content with where I'm at. I still want to win tournaments. I still want to be the best player in the world. So, with that being said, there's still a lot that needs to happen.
How sharp do you feel like you are after that victory?
Not as sharp as I'd like, to be completely honest. Yeah, I feel pretty good. Still plenty of time. It's only Tuesday. I have tomorrow, and then we'll be going Thursday. So we'll get there.
All right. Finally, you got this week, signature event, big event, Jack's event, U.S. Open, and then the Travelers, another signature event. How do you mentally prepare for this? What is a very important run in the FedEx Cup schedule?
Yeah, it's a lot of try to maximize sleep. I feel like that's something that's not talked about a whole lot. Try and get in the most ideal sleep conditions. Try and rest up. Don't wear yourself out too much in practice, and it's all about just being as fresh as possible. I think that'll give you a big edge on a lot of guys.
Xander Schauffele currently second in the FedEx Cup standings, a little more than 1,600 points behind world number 1 Scottie Scheffler. And if you remember Scottie at this tournament last year, he lost more than 8.5 shots to the field on the greens, but still his ball striking was good enough for him to finish solo third. Last year was a tough putting year for Scottie Scheffler. He finished 162nd on tour in strokes gained putting, but last fall started working with Phil Kenyon and has really improved. He's currently 75 75th, I should say, on the PGA Tour in strokes gained putting. The improvement, combined with that great ball striking, his wonderful short game, is a big reason why Scottie Scheffler has won 4 times in his last 7 starts on the PGA Tour. And also there has been that distraction, the arrest in Louisville. Of course, the charges now have been dropped. I caught up with Scottie today, and I asked him where his mind is, where his emotions are heading into the Memorial.
I feel rested after last week. I'm excited to be here. I like this golf course a lot, and it's a fun tournament to compete in, and so I'm definitely excited for the week.
You've been on the world stage as a top player for a while now. You get a lot of attention. There may be some internal and external expectations that you have to deal with. From a perspective of controlling your emotions, how do you do it?
It's a good question. I think I try to focus as much as I can on my preparation, and so when I show up on the first tee, I feel like the results aren't really up to me. I just go out there and compete and do the best I can. And, I remind myself on the first tee that my preparation's done. It's time to go compete. And I think it all goes back to my preparation.
And finally, one distraction is behind you, and the fact that the charges were dropped in Louisville. As you look back on those moments, generally, what are the things that you are going to take away?
Which moments? Like
The arrest.
I mean, I think it was a fairly traumatic experience for me, and so I'm going to try and put as much of that behind me as possible. It was just, like I said, it was a very chaotic situation. There was a lot going on, and somehow I ended up in the back of a police car, which I still can't quite figure out how. But yeah, it's something that I'll just try to put behind me. And I'm fortunate that I had a great lawyer, and the legal system. I think justice was there for sure, and yeah, the charges were dropped, and so hoping to just put that in the rearview mirror as quickly as possible.
Now, the legal issues are behind Scottie Scheffler, but he says he's still a bit rattled in regards to what happened with that arrest in Louisville, saying, quote, that mugshot is not going to go away for a while. Now, there's been another distraction for all of us out here on the PGA Tour, and that is the unfortunate passing of Grayson Murray. Scottie Scheffler had grown close to Grayson over the last few months, and today, here at Muirfield Village, there was a celebration of life for Grayson, and Scottie Scheffler was one of the few speakers that talked about Grayson, said some beautiful words about the life he lived. And there has been another distraction for Scottie Scheffler, but this is a good one. If you remember last month, his wife Meredith gave birth to the couple's first child, a son, and Scottie Scheffler is enjoying the moments at home with his new son, saying, though, quote, I really have pretty much no idea what I'm doing in regards to being a father, and as someone who's a father, Jimmy, you're the same. You just learn on the fly, don't you?
You know what they say, Todd, these things don't come with an instruction manual, and thank God that we're all married to people
That's right.
who are better than we are. Todd Lewis out in Columbus, thanks for joining us. We look forward to your reports all week long. All right, so as we said, Scheffler less than, a couple of weeks now removed from Valhalla, on the brink of a historic year. Already with 4 wins, the Players, the Masters, Arnold Palmer, really something special. We have focused on what happened in Valhalla, but let's talk for a minute about his game. In his last start, he was in a familiar place, the last group on Sunday, but he couldn't get anything going. Is that just golf?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're all human. You're not going to play every round perfect. And yeah, we fully expected Scottie to chase down Davis Riley, and he didn't. But you're right, it's a historical year. And I want to take you back to 2023. We talked about Scottie's ball striking statistics being absolutely phenomenal. Well, how does he follow up that? He's even better this year. Look at that, all those ones down that board. I tell you what, the knock on Scottie, and rightly so, was the putter. It was terrible last year, really, really bad, 162. All we said Scottie needed to be was an average putter, and he was going to have some sort of historical year. Well, there we see it. He is bang on average, 75th right now, and he's, as you say, got 4 wins in his last 7 starts, and is right on the precipice of doing some really, really special things this year.
Well, certainly is a historic year, or potentially historic year for Scottie Scheffler. Seems to have made an improvement in the putting. Is that all there is to it? I want to get back to the mental side of the game, because we talked about this on Golf Today earlier. Bobby Jones once famously said the toughest course in golf is 6 inches long. It's the one between your ears. You think that there'll be any residual damage here? He said that he still thinks about it and it bothers him.
I don't think so. I think he's happy enough in his preparation. He feels like he's doing everything right. And I think his confidence is high enough right now where he's past it. He understands last year at Memorial, it was one of those weeks. He had an absolutely shocking putting week, still contended. But I think he's confident enough in his preparation to where he's doing all the right things.